Hello, grade 9. Today we are going to study computer science, the chapter where we left. Let me share screen with you. Okay, as we covered the input devices, now we are going to deal with output devices. What are output devices and why we use it? So, output is something you get as a result when you are giving the input, and then you get your output as a form of the result from the processing. So an output device is any kind of a piece of hardware equipment which can convert your information into your human readable form. It can be your text, it can be your graphics, tactile, audio, your video. Some of the output devices are visual display units, monitor, printer, graphs, output and devices, plotters and speakers. So these are all the examples of the your output devices. Anything which you are getting in a form of output, you can touch it, and it can be physical as output devices. So what is soft copy output devices? It is a screen display, or you can say it is a voice output. It can be volatile output and lost when the other output is shown or the computer is turned off. Following are some of the devices used to give output in soft forms. So soft copy is something which you get in a computerized form, like if you're like the PDF book which I am teaching you of computer science 9th grade. It is in a soft copy manner rather than in hard copy. Hard copy is the book form which you read in your classroom. So these are the benefits of soft copy, that you can use it anywhere, you can take it easily, and you can share it with many people at a time. So a monitor is also the example of your output device. So monitor is a kind of a TV like device which can display many data by small bright dots. So how these bright dots are created, and these are the small dots which are together created, and they are called pixels. Monitors are of two types. One is the cathode ray and the flat panel display, and these are the data projectors and the speakers. Okay, just a sec. I think we have covered all the output as well, but not too much. So yeah, okay. So data projectors, let me revise it again, no problem. Data projectors are like, you can see it in a colorful forms, and images can be directly shown on your disk or on your large screen through your optical lens or through your eyes. They are also called digital light projectors and video projectors, and these projectors are usually used in professional or in a business meetings to show the other audience which are sitting in a large screen. And the speakers can give you output in a form of sound. They are good example for output, and they are used for the people who have a visual disability. That visual disability means hearing disorder, where the display is not easy to see. Okay, where the display means that image cannot be easily seen, so you can use these speakers so that the audience can understand it more easily. And now hard copy output devices. It is output on papers. So as I told you before, hard copies are represented in the form of a pattern, but on a paper rather than on a screen. That example you can take of your textbook which you study in your class. These are the hard copies. And the printers are something you get a result on your paper and in a text or in graphics or in images, both form. And these types, there are two types of printer. One is impact and another is non-impact plotters. So these are the printers which gives you image on paper, but it typically used to print large format images such as maps, construction drawing, and advertising. Storage device. A storage device refers to a hardware used to store information. There are two types of a storage device. So when you store your information or data, there are two types of storage devices. One is the primary and the other is secondary. So let's talk about the storage devices but in detail. One is the primary and the other is secondary. So why we need to study about the primary storage data? So primary storage device is a medium that holds your memory for a short period of time. Okay, there you can see primary storage is a medium that holds your memory for just a temporary time of your PC while a computer is still running. Although it has a much lower access time and faster performance, its access time is limited, but its performance is much more faster. It is about two orders of magnitude more costly than the secondary storage. Okay, so primary storage are used by your computer during processing, and they are quite smaller in storage capacity. As I told you before, they don't have a good capacity to store your information. Most primary storages are found inside the PC and they have the fast access, as I mentioned before. So primary devices include the RAM and the ROM, and you need to understand what it stands for, what RAM stands for, and what ROM stands for. So ROM is the read-only memory. It is a permanent memory, and ROM is quite small in capacity. You don't have much capacity in ROM. It stores the major setting of your computer in a permanent form. Permanent means in for a longer duration. And then is the RAM. RAM is the random access memory, and RAM is very volatile, and it means it can loses its content as the power supply is disconnected. If your power supply connection from the PC is disconnected, then your storage and the content which you are about to save is lost, and this is used to store data and instruction temporarily. RAM is to store your data but in a temporary and for limited period of time. And now we are about to study about the secondary storage devices. So secondary storage device is what? Secondary storage devices have a larger storage capacity, and it can store your data more permanently for a longer period of time. Alternatively, this secondary storage device is a non-volatile device that can hold your data until it is not deleted or overwritten. Secondary storage is about much more cheaper than primary storage, and consequently a hard drive or an additional slower SSD may be used as a secondary storage. So secondary devices have a capacity and they can store your data for a longer duration, and it can save the user data on a secondary storage. Hard disk, CD, DVD, SD card, and USB flash disk are the examples of secondary storage devices. As you can see, in primary storage devices, these were the examples: ROM and RAM. In secondary storage devices are the examples like hard disk, CD, DVD, and SD card, and USB. Basic operations of a computer. A computer is a machine that acts according to the instruction given by the user. A computer performs four basic operations. One is the input, whatever you are giving to the processor, another is the processing system, which can process your data, and then you get the output, and as you get the output, now you have to save it. This is the storage, which is the fourth one. So input is very much clear to you. Input is something which you can input has many different forms, and you can get the command by entering any kind of data and through using your keyboard or a mouse. It can be sent from one device to another network, and the processing is done inside your PC, and processing is conversion of your data into your output. After processing, your data is transferred into a meaningful language the computer can understand. This is carried with the help of your arithmetic and logical operations. Arithmetic is the problem solving, and logical operations is the mathematical problems. So storage Storage refers to the holding or saving your data, which is the RAM, ROM, and the hard disk are the devices that are used for your storage. Again, the output is coming. Output is the result of your processing, which you get in the form of hard paper, or you can get in the form of soft copy or hard copy. Output may be viewed on the monitor screen here through the speakers or printed on your papers. So here monitor, screen, speaker, and printer are the output devices. So I guess now it's about the computer software. What is computer software? Okay, so the computer software is a set of the instructions you get from a computer which is used to perform any task. It is a general term of a computer program. There are two main types of software. One is the system software and the other is the application software. So first we will elaborate about the system software much more in detail. System software is a computer program that coordinates all the activities that can support you all the functions and all the activities that are performed in a computer. It can also support all the operations of the computer hardware. It also contains your operating system, device, drivers, utility programs, and other language that can be helped for the translation. And then we talk about the operating system. Operating system is the main thing which is used in your PCs, and the operating system can be used is the user friendly. Operating system is the master control program that manages your computer resources, and all the resources, all the data, all the things you can manage is done by your operating system. It can create any interface between your computer system and the user, which is the user is the one which is using, and the computer system, two persons. Like one is the system which you are using, and other is the person user who is holding and giving the instruction. Windows and Linux are the commonly used operating systems. So these are the Windows and Linux are the examples of the operating system. Device drivers. Device drivers are the computer programs that can control a particular kind of a device which is connected to any computer. Any hardware that we have in our computer must have a device or driver through which we can communicate with the operating system, and it can run all the functions. A device driver is a translator between the operating and the hardware devices. A device driver is a sandwich between the operating system and the hardware devices. For many devices, operating system has driver pre-installed in them. Many devices which you have in your PC, they have this installation of the they have this operating system installed before. They give rise to the concept of plug and play, where the device could be attached to the computer in the system and the operating system will instantly recognize it. They have this concept of plug and play, that if you just give it a signal, and it will be when it will pick the command, and it will be instantly it will recognize the function and it will be played. A non-plug and play device would require you to go through several steps of installing drivers and setting up the device before it could work. Now they are showing the difference between the plug and play and the non-plug and play. In non-plug and play, you have to go through the several steps of driving and installing the processes, then you can do the work afterwards. But in a system where the plug and play is already there, you don't have to install anything. You are about to go on that process. It will be automatic. And now we have to talk about the utility programs. What are the utility programs? So what is utility program? It is a kind of a system application that gives the command to perform a specific task, generally pertaining a system which has the minimum maintenance or operation of the system resources. Operating systems such as Windows and Linux come with their own set of utility programs to maintain and execute different utility functions, such as giving a formatting or compressing and scanning and exploring much more. Usually utility programs also help you in management of computer functions, resources and files. You can ensure complete password protection and keep your system virus free using different utility programs. So utility programs are for your own protections, and from antiviruses it gives you protection, and their function is to give system utilities, file management utilities, store management, and then the language translator. Language translators are used to translate human readable instruction into machine language. The computer system cannot understand each and everything, so it has to go through the translation process of human readable instruction into machine language so that the system can understand it, and the system can only understand the machine language is composed of 0 and 1. Generally, software written in a high-level languages using natural languages words. Language is translator of three types. One is assembler, compiler, and the other is interpreter. So we are going to end the whole chapter here because we have to also cover the exercise regarding these chapters we discussed today, like the output and the system softwares, operating devices, and the output what topics which we covered: the printers, the impact printers, and the two types of printers, and the RAM and the ROM. So let me just explain you what is assembly, and then compiler and the interpreter. They are there to translate the different languages into computer so that the computer can understand it. Assembler is the assembler. Translate the program written in assembly language into your machine language so that the execution can take place. Execution is the command here. And compiler is to translate your high level language program at once into your machine language before it can execute the command. An interpreter is to translate the high level language program line by line into machine language. It can, in compiler it can directly convert, but in the interpreter it can be done from line 1 to line 2. This is not a simultaneous process. Okay, now there must be exercise from the chapter we covered. Okay, so this question you have to cover. Let me give a mark. Where now again we have to go. There was a question regarding this. Okay, let me open. No, sorry, just a sec. It's my 9th book. Okay, here this is where we left. Okay, let me take a pencil. So first, this is, I am sure you have covered it. Now you need to do this one: differentiate between the compiler and the assembly, and discuss the impact and the non-impact this question. Okay, and write this question. And which monitor will you prefer in your school, CRTD or the flat panel display? You need to give your reasons. So this is all for today. If you have any other query, you can ask me anytime.